All right. Good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it may be for you all. I'm going to go ahead and cover some more about the final essay today. Problem solution has been discussed in pretty heavy detail, and I have quite a few of them already turned in from y'all. Some of you have already got them back. I've been grading them all week, so check your email. Obviously, you should be checking it every day, but check and be on the lookout for your first draft of the problem solution essay because I have got a few of them done. I've still got quite a ways to go, and quite a few of you still have to turn them in. So please make sure you get those into me. It's while I'm recording this, it's the 20th for a little while longer. It's pretty late, but it'll be the 21st and the 22nd for the next classes when y'all are watching this, and where time is catching up with us, so we really need to focus on this last essay. I don't really have much. I don't think there's really a lot more that I can say about the problem solution essay. So far, the ones that I've read have been really cool. Y'all took. I don't know if you're just getting used to having to write essays now, but seems like, or maybe this just was a better overall so far. I think was maybe just a better type of essay for you because everybody's got problems. Who doesn't? And it's causes you to think, well, how am I going to solve this? So far so good. But as far as the classes go, I'm going to go ahead and just focus on nothing but the final research paper because, in a sense, the final research paper is just it's bits and pieces of every essay that you've done so far. It's you're going to be using your own knowledge, which is personal experience, your own experience. You're going to be analyzing. You're going to be doing a lot of analyzing. A lot of your topics are going to have to do with issues, or to put it more simply, problems. So you can offer, you know, solutions to it. So basically everything that we've worked on so far, y'all can throw into this essay. Now this final essay does have to be in third person. You're not allowed to use I, me, my, and the second person, just forget about it. I keep getting second person. Do not even worry about you, your, and yours. Just keep it out of your essays. I know it's really easy to do that because that's how, when you're talking to someone, you pretty much have to use the second person. Well, when you're writing these essays, you're not talking to someone right in front of you, so that's just stay away from the second person. This final essay, just third person essay for third person only. Um, so it's going to be a challenge, which is why I want to spend more time on this essay than any of the other previous three. Now, it also requires research. Research has been optional up to this point. Many of you have been doing it, and you've been doing it well. However, this time it's an actual requirement. So what I've got over here, where my cursor is this is obviously D2L, but I'm signed in as a student, so it looks different. This is what it looks like to y'all. To me, it looks a little bit different because I can go in and set everything up and change everything. But this is view from the student view, so this should look just like D2L looks for y'all at home. So, and I do have section 102 up, but it was just the first one on the list. So I'm gonna show y'all a couple of kind of shortcuts, I guess, and resources that are on D2L that some of you may not be aware of. Now, when you're doing your research, I've already gone over how to use the library and the databases. That's probably your best bet. You can use Google and then other resources. You can go to the library and actually get physical media. Um, that's fine too. But for the sake of just making sure that your sources are going to be reliable. I would say use the databases, or just, I mean, just use common sense as the easiest way to do it. But just because the source is considered reliable doesn't mean that it's necessarily relevant to your topic, you know. So you got to keep that in mind too. It's not just find sources and throw research in. Strangely enough, I'm not talking about any specific class right now, but I've had people in the past put, you know, I said you had to have at least this many outside sources in your essay, and on very rare occasions, I've had people just grab anything. They just went to the internet, the web, and literally just were citing things that had, I'm just going to say nothing, but I would use a much different term if it was just me talking to a friend of mine. But they literally just citing stuff that had absolutely nothing to do with what their topic was, just so they had a source and a citation in it. And I was like, well, maybe I didn't make that clear enough. So I'm going to overdo it now and say that your sources have to be relevant to your actual topic. You don't just throw quotes in that have nothing to do with your essay and say, well, there's one citation, there's one source. It has to be relevant. Now, I'm gonna go full screen here with the D2L page for the next portion of this. So sorry, you don't get to look at my lovely face. Now, this is the main page for whatever course you're in. So if you're in section, 50 or 48 or whatever, it's going to look exactly like this. But you've got the content and all this stuff over here, assignments. That's where the syllabus and my MLA guide is on there too, which I think is pretty easy to follow and effective. The big, thick, fat MLA guides are really hard to follow and find what you need. So if you go over here to where it says more, you've got obviously a little drop down menu here. Now this is the library research guide. This has some guides on it that may or may not be helpful to you, but I want you to be aware that they're there. So if you click on that, it takes us here, and this is similar to going to the home page that I showed you earlier. Yes, I'm traveling in time. That I showed you earlier throughout the semester. There's a lot here. Mostly this is for literature, since I teach English and I sign in as an English teacher on D2L. However, if you go to A to Z, this is the same thing that you'd find on the Kauffman homepage. But if you just go to the databases A to Z, it breaks them down into subjects on this page, which this could possibly save you some time. But here you can just go straight to the A to Z list and find all this academic one file, search complete, all this stuff that's going to help you narrow down your research, because the more you narrow it down, the more time it's going to save you, and I think that the more effective you do your research, the more time you can actually spend putting your paper together, and it's just going to be a much better paper. It's going to be better organized. We've got all of this stuff here that you can use. If you want to look for international subjects, you can go to the MLA International Oxford English Dictionary. If you want to cite definitions in your essays, I'm not too particular about what dictionary you use. You can use Webster's or whatever. This is the most complete dictionary of the English language. As you can see right in here, 600,000 words and definitions and pronunciation. What I will say is, do not use dictionary.com. That is a terrible dictionary. Okay, it's horrible. But if you need to use definitions, use the OED or Webster's or one that's actually a recognized dictionary if you want to do that. Now, you've got these resources over here that you can use. I recommend just using to begin your research, at least, if you don't need to be super niche or whatever, I would start out with Academic Search Complete, and I've already gone over in a previous video how to use the Boolean phrases, and, or, but, not, things like that. So if you need to go back to rewatch those parts of those videos, go ahead. Now, here's something else that I do want to reiterate again is I really don't, it's not going to count against you in any way. I'm not going to penalize you, but I really would prefer you not to send me PDFs. And I know some of you have told me through email that you don't have Microsoft Word, and I've done this once, but I'm going to do it again. You do actually have Microsoft Word. If I go to Clawmail and over here where I'm highlighting is the app launcher. Now, some of you may still not be aware of this. If you go right here, you've got your email, you've got OneDrive where you can save. It's a cloud. It's just a cloud. See the little cloud? It's just a cloud service that you get for, automatically for being a student. It'll save to the cloud there. You've got Excel, all this stuff. Well, you do have Microsoft Word. It's right here. The only thing is, and you just go to blank document. It's different from the purchased version of Microsoft Word, and it does the same thing. It has, for the most part, the same capabilities. I don't know why they do this, but the interface is different. So what I want to do real quick is show you a couple of things here. Now here's obviously your font, and you want to use Times New Roman. You want it to be a 12. Now when you do your last name and page number, which is, some of you have been having a little, I haven't been counting it against you. I want to put that right out there. But some of you have been having trouble with getting your last name and page number, and I'm just going to guess that it's because you're using this version from the email app center. It's a little confusing because you do it the same way. You go to insert, and then you go to page number. It looks a little different, but you pick. Now don't check this. You don't want include page count, because then it'll say 1 of 1, 2 of 2, 3 of 3, blah blah blah, or whatever. You don't want to do that. Just pick the third one. This time it's side to side, set it up and down, but you want the top right. So when you do that, you just type in your last name and hit the spacebar once. But why this, I can understand this being confusing, is because A, there's no number there right now, and as soon as you go back to your essay, it disappears and it just says header up here. I don't know why, and it changes your font back. So now you have to go back and switch all this back. I have no idea why this does this. If somebody knows a different way to why it's doing this, let me know, because it's annoying. And as far as you, if you're doing it like this, as far as you know, you don't have your last name and page number up there. Well, when you email it to me, it's there. So if you've done that, it will be there. And like I said, if you had trouble and it's not there, it does not count against you. It's not like lowering your grade or anything, but it should be there. So what we can do now is go to more options. If you need to do your line spacing here, and you want to make sure that's set on double. Now this is confusing. In the regular Microsoft Word, it's real easy to find all this stuff. Here you have to go over to these 3 little more option dots and go to line spacing and make sure you're set on double, because the default is not double. So that's how you'd set that up. And then of course you've got all your other stuff like text alignment right here, and then for your title you want to center it and align left and all that, and your indent's already set up. You just hit the tab button once, and that takes care of all that. So again, if you're writing your essay and you don't see the header up here and you've done what I just showed you, it's there, trust me. When you email it to me, it does magically appear. If you print it out or download it, it will be there. So just make sure you have this all set up correctly. And as far as the actual research paper goes, like I said in the last video, the topics are up to you. It just has to be something that can be argued for or against. That's it. Now, make sure that your whatever you pick for your topic is manageable. Don't pick something that's way too big to get in a 4 or 5 page research paper that you're not even going to be able to scratch the surface. If the first 3 pages of your essay are just background and explaining your topic, and then you spend 2.5 paragraphs analyzing it and evaluating, then that's not going to be that's not the assignment. The assignment you should establish your argument right at the beginning in your thesis, and the rest should be developing and supporting it. Now, I do have one more thing I want you to do. The reading has been really light this semester, and in 1101 I usually don't assign a lot of reading because I cover all the reading in these videos or normally in class, but I do want you to read this will be up on D2L, by the way, so don't worry, it'll be under assignments as well. But I want you to read chapter 14, page 402, 403, 407 through 411. That's all about doing a research paper. Now, there's a lot of filler in there that you can read on your own, and sample essays that you can read on your own if you want to see what, I guess, a generic, basic freshman comp research paper looks like. However, you don't. That part won't be required. All that's going to be required is the page numbers that I put up on D2L, and I really want you all to read this because this is the most important essay of the semester. And I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm just being 100% real and honest. For some of you, this final research paper is going to be what you get on this final research paper is going to determine whether you pass the class or not. It's that important. So I really want y'all to kick it into high gear. I know when it gets this point, I was a student for a long time, y'all. When it gets this point in the semester, the stress is in, the monotony's there, and it's kind of like you're just in autopilot. Don't do that. Turn autopilot off, take the stick, fly that plane into the runway, and land it safely. Okay? Don't flub on this final essay. I'm not assigning anything right now. I want to make that clear too. I want to spend as much time as possible preparing y'all for this one because it's the big one and it's the most important of the semester because it has the most requirements and it's the most technical. So I want to make sure you guys have everything that you need just wired down, hooked up, ready to go. All right, so I will be giving much more specific examples and samples and direct examples of what this final paper should look like starting next week. So for now, keep checking your email for Essay 3, and the assignment sheet has the revision dates all on it. The semester video recap that I did has all that is up on D2L right now. Don't quit right at the end, y'all, please. And I'll see you next time.